Welcome to this launch event of this book. Launch event hosted by John Harper Publishing, by APA, the European Institute of Public Administration, Burson Marstellus, and then the ALDE group.
Last week also saw, as many of you know, the launch of the joint transparency register with the Commission. You have to balance transparency, which is very necessary in the legislative process to restore trust in Europe's citizens in what we are doing.
To be clear about where I come from, at Burson Marsteller, we've favored mandatory registration, a mandatory register, since before the European Transparency Initiative process was started in 2005.
It just needs to be applied equally to all lobbyists. That's our main concern, that if somebody's on the register, and they lobby a parliamentarian, then that should be reflected in a legislative flip. But equally, if somebody's not on the register, that should be reflected. So it shouldn't be something that applies to some. It should apply to all. And as long as it's done fairly and consistently to all lobbyists, then I think it's a very good idea.
From a Transparency International perspective, we would like to compliment the fact that ethical behavior has been, centered in the book and has been promoted, not only by the lobbyists, but also by the EU officials, everyone who's basically involved in the legislative procedure.
I think that one of the reasons they're coming around now is pressure, pure and simple. My main concern is that if the Council joins the register, that it's done in a way that's meaningful.
Well, thank you very much. We've, I'm afraid, run out of time for any further debate. I'd just like to remind you that when I first arrived in Brussels, shows how ancient I am, the parliamentarians were appointed and not elected. 10 years, 15 years later, committees were all in camera. You couldn't get into a committee. The Commission didn't publish a work programme. You paid somebody to find out what was in the legislative programme. So we have made progress over the last 25, 30 years. And I think our speakers today have indicated some of the roadmap and the next steps in terms of progress to watch for in the future. You've had the interest from the, can I call you the younger generation, the technological generation, and I thought it was very nice that Diana Wallace invited you to lobby her, so there are opportunities for taking this debate further.